Okay, you all should have the worksheet that's titled Functions Table, and we're going to complete the functions table by filling in all of these missing spaces into the table for f of x, as there are several different f of x's along the way. For f of x in question 1, f of x equals 5 times x to the power of 2. And the purpose of the table with all of these given x values is to plug the numbers, substitute the numbers for x into the function where x is located. And x is located in 2 spots, so I want to plug in the x for both spots. So I have some scratch paper on the side. I recommend that you have some as well as you work through this, or that you have a calculator handy that you can use in order to make the calculations go quick. For question 1, f of x equals 5 times x to the power of 2. And the first time that we see x in the table, they use the value -3. So in the function, f of -3 equals 5 times -3 squared. And that means really literally that this first number where x is -3, I make it x. So swap it in, substitute it in. That's the better word, substitute. -3 for x. Now we solve. If I use the order of operations in this problem, I would do the stuff with the exponent first, because the order of operations is parentheses or grouping terms. Exponents, multiplication and division, whichever comes first from left to right, and then addition, subtraction, whichever comes first from left to right. So in this problem, there's nothing mathematical about there's nothing operational that we have to do in the parentheses. There's only -3, but it's squared, which means we have 5 times -3 times -3. These two things will multiply together to cancel out. Positive and negative makes a positive. Plus, that means that -3 squared is the same as 3 times 3, which means that it's the same as 9. And then I bring the 5. The 5 wasn't messed with all the way through, so I'm going to multiply the final result, 5 times 9, and we get an answer of 45. So back in the table, I write 45 there. Also, this means -3 and 45 is an ordered pair, where x is -3 and 45 is f of x. And I could plot these this ordered pair onto a graph. Here you go. We do the same thing for -1 and for 2 and for 3 and for 5. Okay, so f of -1 equals 5 times -1 squared. And at this moment, I'm going to say I'm tired of writing everything down. Wouldn't you be? So I'm going to go ahead and use the calculator, let the calculator handle it. Sorry, it's a little blurry. Try to fix that. A little better. So I'm going to type in 5, and you can see the screen here. I'm going to type in 5, and then I'm going to go -1. Make sure you use the negative sign, not the subtract sign, and then squared. And evaluate it, I get 5 as an answer. And so in the table where there's a -1, I'm going to put 5 there because that's my answer. Do the same thing for f of 2. f of 2 equals 5 times 2 squared, which, by the way, 2 squared is 4. 5 times 4 is 20, so I know I'm expecting 20 as an answer. But if I wanted to use the calculator, it'd be 5 times 2 squared. And we get 20 as our answer. That's going to go to the next one. Now, if I want to use a calculator quickly, I don't have to keep typing in 5 parentheses, blah, 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 blah. Instead of doing that, I can just press the up button twice to highlight the answer, or not the answer, but the work, and then press enter to bring that work down, and now I can edit it. Since I have 3 and 5 as my remaining x choices, if I type a 3 right here, I get 45. Oh, weird. It's the same number as -3. 3 goes to 45, -3 goes to 45. Same y. It's a function, check that off because none of the x's repeat, but they go to the same y values. Symmetry, maybe? Okay, the last one, use the calculator. Go up twice so that you get to the last problem that you wanted to work with. Because this last problem, I'm going to change the 3 to a 5. Oops, messing up. 2. All right, there it is. 5 times 5 squared. You can see the answer here is 125. Okay, that's how you do number 1. Either by hand, where you have a function and you replace every x value in the function with the number that you're given, and you repeat that process for every number in the table, writing down the outputs for these given inputs. If you don't have exponents, that's okay. You just continue writing out the number, write out the number, and swap in the letter that you're given.